Hi, this is Eric with MobileMustHave.com. Peplink has released their new Max BR1 Mini, now with a Category 7 modem. This is a serious upgrade in our entry-level products. Come along with us and we'll tell you all about it. So we actually did a video a few months back on the PepWave Max BR1 Mini hardware version 3, and it's a great device, and it basically, the big difference that they brought into this generation device is they upgraded the processor and the memory inside of this device, and they also gave it dual band wireless technology. So it supports 2 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz right out of the box. The previous generation Mini only had 2 gigahertz Wi-Fi. That added processor bumped this guy up to 300 megabits of maxed router throughput. So that was a big significant change in this hardware version 3. This router in the Category 6 variant became the replacement for this device, which was the Max BR1 MK2, which has since been discontinued. Now, for customers that had the Max BR1 MK2, there wasn't really a lot of reason to look at the Mini hardware version 3 because they were both Category 6 modems. You didn't really get a lot other than that increased router throughput. But since you were operating on a Category 6 modem, they were going to perform pretty similarly. So we didn't recommend customers that had existing devices to look at upgrading those at that time. So we've been spending a lot of time with Peplink and their engineering team, and we've been talking to them about the fact that the Category 6 modems and the Category 4 modems, we don't really even sell the Category 4 modems except for to our enterprise customers for kind of low-end machine-to-machine communication stuff, which is great. It works really well for ATMs and stuff like that. But for our entry-level customers, that we've been recommending the Category 6 modem for pretty much the inception since like 2017 or 18 when we started our business. As technology has improved and things have changed on the cellular networks, however, specifically AT&T and T-Mobile have brokered deals where they have access to different channels or bands on the cellular networks. The Category 6 started to have certain gaps in coverage that we wanted Peplink to address. Through those conversations, we talked to them about improving their entry-level product line to get us a Category 7 modem that addresses a lot of those shortcomings of the Category 6. Before we get into the specific band information, the difference between Category 6 and Category 7, Category 7 has some additional carrier aggregation abilities that give it really the download speed, max download speed is actually the same. It's 300 megabits. But on the upload side, it goes from 50 megabits all the way up to 150 megabits with Category 7. So you get significant improvement on the upload side, and there are some other benefits on the download side as well. The big improvements with Category 7, if you're here in the United States, is that it includes coverage for band 14. Now that's AT&T's FirstNet rural band. That's a band that's reserved for first responders when they need it, but when they're not using it, it can be used by the public. Now band 14 runs at a low frequency, around 700 megahertz, so it travels really, really far. So it does kind of make up a lot of the coverage map that you see in fringe areas for AT&T. So that Category 7 adding band 14 for AT&T is a big deal. In addition to AT&T, Category 7 modems are greatly improving the ability to connect to T-Mobile's network. T-Mobile has 2 bands that it uses quite extensively in its rollout. One is band 66 and one is band 71. Band 66 kind of rounds out a lot of their general kind of bandwidth capacity in their kind of new nationwide network. And band 71 is their rural band. So that's where we've got the 600 to 700 megahertz range frequency for that ultra far distance ability. So if you're looking at T-Mobile, or maybe you previously looked at a data plan with us, like our P800 plan on T-Mobile, and you were using it in a Category 6 device, which will work, you might have had some coverage gaps where you felt like T-Mobile just didn't really have the coverage that they said they did on their website. A good part of the reason for that was likely because you didn't have access to band 66 or band 71. Category 7 gets you that, so it's going to give you a lot of improved coverage. For Verizon customers, Category 6 and 7, you had most of the band coverage for Verizon already, so you might not necessarily see some coverage improvements, but you will take advantage of some of that increased throughput through the carrier aggregation improvements that the modem offers. This Category 7 hardware version 3 mini device is going to become the product that is bundled with our full timer bundle. Its designation will be the full timer VR3 or version 3, and we expect this modem to be around for quite a while because it just rounds out everything at such an aggressive price point. Peplink has brought the Mini into the PrimeCare lineup, which means that it is a PrimeCare device. And for customers that don't need access to a wired WAN port and don't need access to Wi-Fi WAN to pick up campground Wi-Fi, you can pick up this device at a lower price point or cost. And then if you want to, you can add the license to enable the WAN port and the Wi-Fi WAN at a later date. If you look at the listing page and you look at checkout, you'll see an advanced feature pack listed there, and there are additional discounts if you bundle that feature pack at the time of purchase. So it's definitely something I'd say it's probably worth getting at the time of checkout, but if you really don't think you're ever gonna use that WAN port to plug in something like Starlink, you can do without it. And if you don't think you're gonna ever use campground Wi-Fi for your internet source, you can do without it to save yourselves a few bucks. Quickly going over kind of what's in the box, and then we'll give you an overview of the ports and what's going on the device. We've got our mobile router here. We've got 2 Wi-Fi antennas. We have 2 cellular antennas. We have a AC adapter that comes with the 4-pin locking Molex connector or mini Molex connector that they have there. We've got a quick start guide that they've improved for 2022 that includes pictures of the antenna ports to make sure you don't reverse up the antennas. You've got a GPS antenna here with a 6-foot cable attachment, and then some wire management branded by Peplink, all included in the box. Looking at the device here for a second on the kind of port end, not the antenna end here, we've got 2 LAN ports here that are for connecting wired devices, a smart TV possibly, a desktop computer, or anything that you need wired LAN access to. And then we have a 3rd LAN port or WAN port. It is assignable, assuming you have purchased the WAN license. So if you don't purchase the WAN license, this will just act as another 3rd LAN port, so you can connect up to 3 devices locally. Moving on a little bit, you've got 3 status lights. We've got our status, our Wi-Fi, and our cellular. For our customers who are new to PepWave Cellular, blinking green will mean it's trying to connect. Solid green will mean it's connected. Wi-Fi will remain on, meaning it's broadcasting local wireless inside the coach for your or boat for your local devices. And then your status light will be red when it's booting up, green solid when the unit is on and powered up, or blinking green if it's booting up and powering up, or if it's doing a firmware update, it will also be blinking green. So those status lights give you the ability to kind of know what's going on in the device without having to log into the management console and check everything out with a phone or a tablet or a PC. Moving on a little bit further, we've got our power port, that 4-pin micro Molex here. And this device supports ignition sensing as well if you get the optional Peplink branded cable. Ignition sensing is not typically needed for mobile installations like in an RV or marine application. But if you're looking to install this in a vehicle like a first responder vehicle or something where you want the key position in the vehicle to change the behavior of the router, for example, turn the key off, I want this to stay on for X number of minutes, the ignition sensing feature does support it. One note on ignition sensing is that advanced feature packet actually unlocks that feature as well. So there's a couple other small things that are included in the feature pack, but for most customers, ignition sensing isn't something they need to worry about. As I mentioned, it comes with an AC adapter that plugs into your standard AC power wall plug, but on our listing pages, we also have the optional DC direct wire kit that comes with a 3-amp fuse, so you can wire this directly into your marine or coach battery, house battery bank. This unit will run on 12 or 24 volt systems, so you don't have to just run it on 12 volt. If you have a 24 volt battery bank, you're fine and covered with that as well. And rounding out the front here by those lights, we also have our paperclip reset button there, which if you look at the directions will tell you that if you hold it down for about 30 seconds, it'll fully factory reset the device, but you can actually use that to reset your admin password and your Wi-Fi passwords if you ever forget them without wiping out all your settings by just holding it for less than 10 seconds. We have an article at support.mobilemustHave.com that will explain how that reset button works. Flipping the device around for a second, this is our antenna side. And what we really like about this device, which they've changed or upgraded from the MK2, is they've put all of our antenna ports on the same side. A lot of our customers complained when they looked at roof antennas for these devices that had shrink wrap or heat shrink tape on them, that they had to cut away some of the tape because the cables couldn't get to both sides and still look good. It would kind of like, you'd either have to cut it away or the cables might end up like kind of bundling out here. So it was a little bit difficult because they had connectors on both sides of the device. So through some feedback, we kind of said, hey, like with the BR1 Pro and most of the other devices, can we get all these ports on one side? And they were able to deliver for us, which is great. So we've got our two Wi-Fi, dual channel Wi-Fi here. That's the 2 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz MIMO, 2x2 MIMO Wi-Fi. That's for the local device networks. Then we have our two cellular connections above that for our cellular category 7 modem with this, and then our GPS antenna in the middle. And just a word of caution, if you are looking at something like this, make sure to always hook up the Wi-Fi and the cellular antennas. We see a lot of customers call us and complain when they're first initially setting up the device, and when we ask for pictures, we get something back like this. We're like, where are the rest of the antennas? Oh, I thought I only had to hook up one because I was just testing it. No, no, no. Make sure you hook up all the antennas or the device is not going to work properly. Moving on, right here, there's a dust cover on this, but right below here is the SIM card slots. Now, this is a single modem device, but it has 2 SIM card slots. And new for 2022, they've upgraded to nano SIM cards, which are the smaller SIMs. I'll show you a close-up here of how we insert and remove SIM cards from this device. They're spring-loaded slots, and there are 2 of them, and inside of the management console of the device you can switch between SIM A and SIM B. If you've been fighting through mobile hotspots and powering them up and batteries bloating or having to reset them every single day, and you're looking for something that's just a more reliable solution that can act a lot more like home internet, this is a great device for you to consider looking at. This is our entry-level device. We've included this in our full-timer bundle, as I said before, and this is a really, really solid device for folks that just want to stay connected to the internet, don't want to think about it very much, but also don't consider internet super mission critical. If you're looking at mobile work or you just want absolute connectivity, take a look at our Speed Demon bundle or our Ultimate Road Warrior bundle, which will include multiple cellular modems inside the device for additional redundancy. But if this is something where you want to check email, check Facebook, Netflix, and just, you know, the internet works and you do whatever you need to do, this is an absolutely great device at a really great price point. For a detailed list of specifications on this product, go ahead and hop over to the listing page and click on the documentation tab, which will give you a link to the manufacturer specifications with all of the details on the performance specification data. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys have any questions about this product or any product on our website, please make sure to reach out via chat in the bottom right-hand corner to speak to a representative. You can also email us at info@mobilemusthave.com. And we will see you on the road. Thanks so much for watching.